Fuck. I'm suddenly realizing I should have never dropped out of art school. I could have made it. I could have been a real somebody.
I mean, you're asking me to release a criminal with known connections to the Triad, and not only is it a—
You shut up when I'm talking to you! You shut your mouth!
Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars 2, aka Grand Theft Auto if you were Grand Theft Auto Undercover fuck. Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars 2, aka Grand Theft Auto if you were an undercover cop, aka Sleeping Dogs is the game we are going to be talking about today. August 14, 2012 is when this game initially came out. What were you doing in August of 2012? I was starting my last year of high school, and apparently I was picking this game up from a Redbox. Little did I realize I would be playing it again for the third time 7 years later. Damn, this is one of my favorite games.
You okay, miss?
Hey, poor guy! That's my girl, so why don't you fuck off?
I'm Sun On Yee, motherfucker. Now get out of here before I break every bone in your body.
Oh man, no, sorry.
Sleeping Dogs is a linear story-driven, third-person, open-world sandbox action game. The best way I could explain it if you've never played it before is Grand Theft Auto if you're an undercover cop.
Only the big Triad gangster can sleep with other people?
Whoa, Triad?
I never meant for you to get hurt.
Kind of like I said earlier, you can make a lot of comparisons to this game with the last Grand Theft Auto I reviewed, Chinatown Wars, because it touches on a lot of the same themes: triads, gangs, family, undercover business, extortion, but this game has absolutely nothing to do with Grand Theft Auto. In fact, it was originally slated to be part of the True Crime series, True Crime Hong Kong, until the game ended up getting shelved and then purchased and then repackaged as what we know now as Sleeping Dogs. And as much as I loved the game, unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to save the studio. They had made one last-ditch effort to kind of make this spin-off of Sleeping Dogs, Triad Wars, which is supposed to be this free-to-play, not really multiplayer, but kind of labeled as a multiplayer game. There wasn't really any budget into it, and it was basically like the Fallout 76 of this game. So, unfortunately, it failed and the studio closed, which sucks because they had actually had a Sleeping Dogs 2 in its very early stages of production. Sleeping Dogs 2 will probably never surface, unfortunately, but what we have here is a pretty damn good game. Our hero for this story is Wei Shin, your character that you play as, who's coming back from America to his homeland of Hong Kong, China. But this time, he's an undercover cop, attempting to take down the Triads from the inside out, who are partially responsible for the death and overdose of his sister, which you'll learn early in the game. It's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, she OD'd years ago now. I mean, after we moved to the States, she tried to kick that shit, but
That sucks. She was, really alive.
Going in there with his job and his personal reasons, he still manages to find himself conflicted. Does he help out his officers and progress the investigation further? Or does he become more involved with the family of the Triad and his duties moving up the ranks?
Goddamn police!
It's a pretty simple but interesting story that kept me captivated throughout. I think a lot of this game's budget was actually spent on the big name actors that are in this, but I really don't have any clue who they are because I don't pay attention to movies or TV shows. But because of this, the storyline is very interesting and very convincing at times.
Oh yeah, bring it, baby!
I found myself glued to the cutscenes and always feeling this serious, convincing tone from the game.
I never wanted you for this job because of what Dog Eyes did to your sister and how you handle things in San Francisco. But you've done better than anyone could have expected. I can only imagine the pressure you must have been under.
don't get sappy on me now, Raymond.
In the early stages of this game, I had a lot of fun just screwing around, making it as silly as possible, especially in cutscenes like this.
You know what happens to rats, Wade?
Yeah, I heard. Conroy gave me all the details when he was helping me out on that minute.
Who the fuck do you think you are, huh? You come in out of nowhere and suddenly our guys start to get arrested? He ratted out Popstar, Winston. I know he did!
Popstar's gone, but you're still dealing, aren't you? So who's supplying you?
Loyalty's important, Wade. Never forget that. You get in this business for yourself, you're bound to end up like little Lon Tom.
But as the story progressed, I found myself getting really wrapped up into it and emotionally involved, and I kind of just ended up taking it more seriously. This game isn't necessarily a Grand Theft Auto. There isn't a huge goofy back tone to the whole game. It's a very serious tone throughout. You have a lot of little different storylines going on in the game, but one of the most impactful to me is your relationship with Jackie. He gets you into the gang, and throughout the game you kind of watch him progress and mature as a person, which leads to a lot of emotional moments.
I'll see you tomorrow or something.
All right, I'll do anything stupid.
There is a lot of gun combat in this game, but unlike Grand Theft Auto, you're going to find yourself involved with a lot of melee, hand-to-hand, fist action. You unlock combos and stuff as you go, but you could really play through the whole game with just the basic combo system. It's not a hard game by any means. You're going to breeze through this game even if you have the coordination of a kindergartner. But that's not to say that it isn't fun. Damn, it is fun. And this game has some unapologetically violent executions in the game. Not Mortal Kombat level, but it does get pretty violent. You have a lot of high-octane chase sequences in this game, car driving, shooting out the window sequences, fighting sequences, and it's all broken up pretty well. And this all plays out within the open world of Hong Kong, China, a setting that I really wish Rockstar would go ahead and take. Why have they not done this yet? I found myself screwing around in this open world as much as I would in any other game, but this is also where I kind of feel the game falls a little flat. There's a lot of different side missions you can do, none of them feeling near as impactful as the main story, and I also found myself with a lot of repetitive NPCs making the same gestures or noises or speech dialogue every single time I walked out of my apartment.
Be sure to bring you.
This is where I kind of found myself having the immersion broken. Like I said, I think they spent a lot of the budget on the voice acting and the motion capture and all that, which is fine, because I would definitely rather have that than it all just spit in the world and then have a terrible, non-convincing story. If you like screwing around in open world games and exploration, you're gonna have a good time in this. Just don't expect a lot of depth. At surface level, it's just kind of a world to run around in.
I'll pay now.
The graphics have held up pretty damn good in my opinion. It's not the most visually impressive game by any means, but I still think it looks damn good. I don't know if it just happened to do with the time of my life that I played this game or what, but this is the type of game I think of on a lonely, wet, rainy night. Driving along those neon sign lit roads with reflections against the rain puddles is where this game I think really shines in its environment. And on the PC, you just kind of have like this overload of NPCs, which isn't really anything impressive to look at now, but at the time it was kind of impressive to have that much going on at once. There's a lot of little details like NPCs carrying items like a soda that'll explode when it hits the floor, and an umbrella you can grab and beat them with. But overall, the main thing I found myself doing in this game was just rushing from triad mission to triad mission. The game's a damn emotional roller coaster. When the game ended, I found myself really wanting more. There was a lot of side stuff that I hadn't done throughout the entire story, but I just couldn't find myself to doing it after that ending. Unfortunately, we're probably never gonna get that Sleeping Dogs 2, which is really unfortunate. But if you've never touched this Hong Kong thriller, I couldn't recommend it enough. This is just one of those games that's stuck with me in the back of my head. The game isn't perfect. The driving physics can really kind of suck. You'll be turning the wheel all the way, but you'll always find yourself never turning far enough. One of the cool little features of this game is that you can open your car door and hijack any car while you're driving, and you can sideswipe cops to lose them, kind of like Chinatown Wars. But if you've ever been interested in it, flaws aside, I think this game's definitely worth giving a shot and playing through. I never sit down and play through games multiple times. I just really like this one for whatever reason. And yeah, that's Sleeping Dogs. It's not the most polished or the best written game out there, but it's a hell of an experience that's worth your time. I think it's a game that was severely underlooked, and I just wanted to talk about it and give you guys my opinions. I didn't cover a lot of the stuff, like the side stuff, like the racing and the mechanics, but I just wanted to talk about what really stood out to me and what I really liked. If you're still here by the end of this video, maybe consider dropping a sub or at least checking out my other playlist to see if I got some other videos that interest you. And if you've been sticking with me for a while, maybe consider the Patreon. Tell me what you guys think and tell me what your experiences with this game is, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. It's been C. Bye. Until the game was inevitably Until the game was originally being released on the 360 and 360. I had to kind of take a